Hello guys. I've been quiet for 2 days. Everybody on there? Okay guys, I got lots to do today. I'm going to make a dish that we make in Pennsylvania. It's called Halupki soup. And so I'm going to get started making that. And then I'm going to kind of push this stuff out of the way. And then I'm going to make a quick, easy fudge because I wanted it for the weekend. So I'm going to do that real quick. So if everybody's just jumping on here, good morning everybody, good morning. So the first thing is I have 2 pounds of hamburger in here. But next I'm going to cut up a sweet onion. I'm going to do that next. Actually, I got ahead of myself. I'm going to do the cabbage first. So Halupki soup is, we make this in Pennsylvania. I'm sure other places make it, but we used to make this in our shop all the time. Instead of rolling the cabbage leaves, hey sis, how are you? Instead of rolling the cabbage leaves and making a pig in the blanket, the way the Pennsylvanians call it, we just make a soup. So that's what I'm going to be making. So I'm going to take off a couple of the outer leaves, and that's it. And I have 2 big pans on my stove. I was going to make them in my carry. I was going to make it in my Instapot, but the Instapot doesn't take all day. I can have it done in like 10 minutes, but it's chilly here today, so why not cook, right? Okay, so first of all, I don't know if this knife will do it. I might have to get a bigger one. Cut this in half. And my husband said to me, maybe you should cut that while I'm still here. I said, I'll be okay. I'll be okay. All right. So you want to cut it to where you can get the core out, guys. That's what I'm doing. I'm cutting it to get that core out. Just get that thick core out. These cabbages aren't very big. Oh well, that's fine. It is what it is, right? So you don't want your core. And I'm gonna do 1 cabbage per pan, guys. 1 cabbage per pan. So I'm gonna. I don't know if you can see me. Let me move this out of the way. How about that? So I'm just chunking up the cabbage right now. And I'm going to put the smaller head in this pot. So in goes that. In goes. I'm just doing like little chunks, guys, little chunks. You might have to break it up a little bit. Hi, user 40871738177. Hi, guys. Hi, Lou. Okay. So if you're just jumping on here, I'm making a Halupki soup. There's really no recipe for this. This is just something that I throw together. So I'm just cutting up a head of cabbage right now, guys, and making it into little chunks. And then I'm going to do, so each head of cabbage is going to probably pretty much fill up this pan like this. So that's 1 head in that pan. Then I got I'm not using homemade sauce. We got a container. It's a 45-ounce jar of ragu. I was just going to use tomato sauce and flavor it, but we're going to use this today. It's easier. So in goes that. You're going to save this container because you're going to fill this up with water. You're going to fill that up with water, okay? So in goes that right now. So I'm going to set this back over here. And we're going to do this next head. Ugh. So if you're just jumping on here, I'm making Halupki soup. And if you're from Western Pennsylvania, like we are originally, people, hi Sammy, people make, they call it pigs in the blanket, where you put your hamburger and stuff in your cabbage leaf and you roll it up and you bake them. Well, hi Krista, hi Tanya. At our shop, we used to do soup, and we used to sell it all the time. And then from then on there, I didn't make them that way anymore. I just made the soup. It's a lot easier just to make the soup and be done. So you need to core your cabbage and get that core out. Or split it and then get that core out. You want that core out. You don't want that in there. So that's what I'm doing. I'm taking the core out. I missed a little piece. And my husband said to me, well, maybe you should cut that while I'm here. I said, oh, I'll be fine. It'll be fine. Sometimes I get a little carried away. You always microwave your cabbage first. Oh, that's a good idea. Hi, Spitfire. So this is going to cook for three hours. I can make this in my Instapot and have it done within 30 minutes, guys. And I've gotten to where, like, soup or anything like that, I can do it and be done in 30 minutes. But it's cold here today in the South. It's cold in Myrtle Beach today. So I just decided I'm going to do it the old-fashioned way and do it on the pot instead of the hurry way. I don't need to hurry. I got all day for this to cook. And then I'm going to make a little, my grandson loves my fudge. And so I make a cheater fudge, and he asked me the other day if I can make it. So I'll do that real quick as well. So this goes in. And then I'm going to cut this one up. Just make sure you get your cores out. Now, you can use tomato sauce, and usually when I was at my shop, I would get a number 10 can, which is the great big can, and I would just use tomato sauce and I would season it up. But hi baby girl. Hi Sandy. I have these big jars of ragu, and so I just decided, you know what, that's what I'm using today. There's no rhyme or reason to this recipe. It's just something that I threw together, and I just still do it. And if I have tomato sauce and want to season it, I throw it in there. If I have big jars of spaghetti sauce, I'll throw them in there. There's no set recipe. So I'm going to keep cutting my cabbage into little chunks. And that's that one. Make sure I get it all picked up. Okay, so then I'm going to open up this jar. And remember, you're going to save your jar because you're going to fill these up with water. So I'm saving this jar, saving that jar. Okay, so that pot's done. Then I'm going to do my sweet onion. Hello, sunshine. God bless you. Hello, sweetheart. Okay, so now I'm going to do my onion, guys. just make a mess, don't we? Get that outer. Some people just take the skin off, but I like to get that first big chunk off there. That's just me. You guys can do it however you want. That's just me. Okay, so I got 2 pans. This pan's a little bigger than my other pan, so I'm going to cut this like 3/4 and 1/4. That's what I'm going to do. So one's going to be for the smaller pan, Hi Angel, and the other one's going to be for the big pan. So I'm going to set this one aside a minute. Watch your fingies, guys. Watch your fingers. I just slice it one way and try to hold it and just keep going. And watch your fingies. Watch those fingers. They're important to keep. Got to keep those digits. Okay, that looks pretty good. In goes that one. Okay. And then we're going to do this one. Sometimes I get to going too fast and then I get a fingernail. Ha! Somebody asked me about my fingernails the other day. One of my twin granddaughters said to me, "Nay, let me do your nails." I said, "Okay." Well, I love Winnie the Pooh, so that's what she did for me. I don't know if you can see them. She did my nails. And there's Pooh right there. So I said to her, she was like, "They're not going to be professional." I said, "I don't care what they look like. You did them, and they'll stay on until it comes off. I don't care what they look like." Somebody said to me about, "Oh, whoever did your nails didn't do a very good job." Well, I think she did a wonderful job, and she's only 14, so to me, it's beautiful. Okay, guys, so then I have the 1/4 of an onion in this one and 3/4 in this one. I'm going to set these over on the stove. Thank gosh that was sweet, because my eyes would be watering right now. Let me get rid of this. Let me get rid of all this. All right. This up. Clean while you work. Clean while you work. All right, let's see. Next, we're going to go in with hamburger. Okay, so I have 2 pounds of ground beef here. I put in about 1/4 cup of Italian-style breadcrumbs. I might need more. I'm going to do 2 eggs. I'm going to do 2 eggs. Now, you don't have to do this. This is how I do it. I make tiny, good morning, TC. I make tiny, tiny little meatballs. And they're going to go in the pots. You can just do your hamburger and throw loose hamburger in there. You don't have to make the meatballs. My husband enjoys the meatballs, so that's why I'm making them. So I have about 1/4 cup of Italian seasoning in there. I'm going to put about 1/4 cup in there. I don't really measure this, guys. I just go with it. And for seasonings, I'm going to put my Pit Boss salt Smoky salt, cracked pepper. I love this stuff. Love this stuff. So I'm going to put that in there. Make sure I got the right side open. Give it a good jizz. And then I'm going to use some garlic powder, y'all. And that's it. And usually I would, oh, thanks whoever gave me the flash goal. Hi, Nellie. Good morning. You clean while you work too. You got to. If you don't, it's just, you get a big mess. Oh, let's see what's going on here. Let's get rid of that. Okay. And as I always say, we're from the South. You got to add a little Old Bay, guys. Little Old Bay. Okay. Now we're going to go in and just start the part I don't like. I'm not a real fan of ground beef. I don't know what it is between that and chicken. I mean, all meat is, I mean, I know I could use a glove, but then you got to worry about them falling off and all that good stuff. Hi, everybody. So anyway, I'm doing this. Now, in next, I do rice, and I use the minute rice. So I always add a little bit to my meat, just a little. So I have 2 bowls sitting over here. Each bowl has 3 cups. I don't know that I'm going to need that much, so I'm taking a handful out of each bowl and putting it in the rice, or putting it in the burger. Now, that rice is also going to go in with your cabbage. This soup is like a rib sticking soup, you know. And let me tell you, on the second day is way better than the first day, and then the third day is top notch. So this is what your meat should look like by the time you get your rice and your eggs and all that in there. So now I'm going to bring both these pots over here, y'all. And I'm going to start doing little meatballs in each pot. I'm going to do little meatballs in each pot. And as you can see, I carried this like this so I don't get this hand on the outside of my... I use gloves to do that. I do too sometimes, but I always feel like they're slipping. It's fine. Okay, so we're just going to go. This pot has more in it, so we're going to put more meatballs in that. These meatballs, I don't even know if you can call it a meatball. I guess a marble. No bigger than that, y'all. No bigger than that. Hi, Lori. That's all I'm going to do. So it's almost like Italian wedding soup when you get those little bitty tiny meatballs in there. That's what I'm going to do. So we're going to start putting them in. This is going to take a little bit. You know, just takes a little bit. So I'm going to do 2 to 1. 2 here, 1 here. Oh, thanks, Lori. I'm going to do 2 here, 1 here because this pan is bigger. And we'll see what we need to do here. So that's 2. That's 1. I'll probably get to talking and forget. So, I mean, you don't really have to like roll them, guys. Just as long as you get like a little chunk, you know, because it's going to cook and it's going to be like a little meatball. This is my husband's favorite. He loves this soup. He said to me, I could live on that for days. I don't know about days, but he could. He loves it. And I haven't made this all year, all winter down here. So we got a little bit of a cold weather. And I thought, well, I bought cabbage last week intent to make it, and I never made it. So we're making tiny little meatballs to go into the Halupki soup. If there's anybody on here from Pennsylvania, you know what I'm making. Back in the day, I would spend all day in the kitchen making Halupki and rolling those cabbage leaves. Hi, Rebecca. Hi, Project X. I would spend all day in the kitchen stuffing cabbage leaves and rolling them and cooking them and baking them and all day long just to have Halupki for dinner. And then when we opened up our shop, my husband said, Pennsylvania gets really cold in the wintertime, and he said to me, we should make that soup. And the guy that was next door to my shop, he had a beauty shop. His name was Carl, rest his soul. And he used to say to Big Terry, hey, MKT, when are you going to make that soup? And Big Terry would say, oh, we're going to make it next week. And he would come and he would have the big mason jars. And he would tell Big Terry, well, you make a couple pots extra because I'm bringing my mason jars and I want them filled up. And we used to sell out of that soup all the time. All the time we would just sell out of that soup. Hi, Jessica. Hi, Dan. So I'm making like little meatballs in my hands, guys, for this soup. Now, to season it, somebody just wrote on here to season it. I just put a little bit of salt and pepper in the soup while it's cooking. You don't really need anything else in there. You know, you're going to have the onion. There's already spices in the ragu, so I don't really need to. Are you putting more in the small pot? No, I'm putting more in this pot, the bigger pot. The small pot looks fuller, though, because it's a smaller pot. Your in-laws raised me on cabbage rolls. Yes. It's a big thing in Pennsylvania, those cabbage rolls. Well, in western Pennsylvania. I don't know about eastern Pennsylvania. But in western Pennsylvania, yes. Somebody just gave me a heart. Thank you, guys. Pittsburgh, yes. Love Pittsburgh. Love those Steelers. We were originally from Indiana, Pennsylvania. That is Jimmy Stewart's hometown. If you ever get on YouTube or something like that, look it up. They actually, what was his name? Rich Little. He came to Indiana, and he did a voiceover. You're watching me you're putting more in the small pot. This is the big pot. This is the big pot. This is the small pot. You just can't see in it. There's a lot of meatballs in here, guys. Anyway, he came to Indiana, and he did a voiceover, and it's on the crosswalks of Indiana. And so when you're there and you're walking through, hey, Pennsylvania, when you're walking through the town of Indiana, PA, when you get to the crosswalks, it sounds like Jimmy Stewart's talking to you, but it's actually Rich Little. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And if you ever saw the movie that Jimmy Stewart was in, a Christmas movie, what was that Christmas movie? Oh, gosh. Oh, Bedford Falls, I think is what it's called. In it says about, oh gosh, I can't remember the name of it. Alexa, what's the Christmas movie that Jimmy Stewart's in?
From webnovel.com. The Jimmy Stewart Christmas
It's a Wonderful Life. Yes, Cheryl.
Life.
Okay, so Indiana, PA actually looks like that in the wintertime. It's a real little town. And Jimmy Stewart, when he lived there, he lived up on top Vinegar Hill. And Vinegar Hill is still there. And his mom and dad owned a hardware store in our little town. Just a little fun fact about Indiana, Pennsylvania. So, it's a quiet, quaint little town. And when I say everybody knows everybody, oh, you're from Ford City, there you go. When I say everybody knows everybody, it's like Mayberry RFD. It is the truth. Everybody knows everybody, and every night everybody knows everything about everybody. So, small towns. Yeah, we love Jimmy Stewart. I actually, I worked, before we opened up our shop, I worked for a local store there, cake decorating. And when it was his 100-year anniversary, the town, we did a huge cake for him and for the town. It was huge. I mean, it was huge. It took days. And it was really nice to be a part of that. Really nice to be a part of it. That was something I can always say that I was a part of, so that was nice. It was nice. What part are you from? So my husband is from, he was born and raised in Indiana, Pennsylvania. And I was born and raised in Decatur, Illinois. And my husband moved to Decatur to work on the railroad, and that's where I met him. And I was actually friends with his little sister that had moved to Illinois to be with her older sister, because there's so many kids in that family. There's a lot. Anyhow, long story short, we met in Illinois, and then when our son was, I want to say 3, we moved back to Indiana, Pennsylvania, and that's where I had my daughter, and we stayed forever. We never left. Hi, Marianne and Mr. B. So we never left. We never left Indiana, and then we used to come to Myrtle Beach for vacations. A lot of vacations every year. Well, for a while, we always went to my hometown to visit my mom, because I wanted my kids to be able to know who my mom was. So our family vacation was always going to Illinois, and we would stay at this big, it was called the Holiday Inn out on 36. And we would get a big room, and we would invite, they had this huge pool and game room, and we would invite all my family there, and the kids would just play. Hi, Christy. And we did that for years. And then finally my husband said to me, Jenny, we do this every year. There is so much more in the world to see that we need our kids to be able to see. He's like, they need to go see the ocean. They need to travel. And I'm like, okay. So I think my daughter was probably 8 the first time we came to Myrtle Beach. She was 8 years old, maybe 6. And we just never quit coming. It was like we were always going to go to the beach, no matter what. We were going to the beach. We were going to the beach. And 16 years ago, we had a major snowstorm in Indiana, PA. And my husband had spent hours snow plowing. I mean, just hours. And he come in to me and he said, Jenny, I don't care where you find a house. You get online and you find a house, and we're moving. I am never doing this again. I am tired of the snow. So I got online and I started shopping and I found this house, the one I'm standing in. And quick story, we bought this house sight unseen, and in 3 weeks we had the keys to it. So that was the end of that. And that was the end. That was the end. So we left Pennsylvania and we actually live in Surfside Beach. And we moved here and love it. Love it, love it, love it. All right, guys, let me wash my hand. That bowl's empty. Let me get all this muck off me. I need a sink over by the cameras. All right. Okay, so we got all these meatballs in here. Now, I'm going to put some rice in here. Hi, Mildred. Hi, Jody Lee. So, yeah. So we moved here 16 years ago, and we've been here ever since. And then my daughter and her son lived in Texas. He's in the military. And when he got out of the military, they moved here as well. And then my older son moved here as well. So I have my whole family here, which is a complete blessing. Okay. So like I said, I have 3 cups of rice per bowl. I'm just going to sprinkle some of this in here. And that looks good to me. And then I'm going to sprinkle some in here. This pan is less. And I actually might take some of the cabbage in that out of this one and put it into this one. I might. So, all right. So that's what we're doing. That's it. So now, remember I said to save these. I'm going to fill these up with water. I'm going to fill these up with water, guys. Okay. Get all that goodness up out of there. And then I'm just going to pour this all right into this pot. Looks good. Looks good. Now, I don't want to stir too much because I don't want to break my meatballs up, guys. So I'm just going to let that sit like that. And I'm going to put these on like a 4.5, and let them start to cook. That's it. That's all you got to do to it, guys. I'm going to fill this one up. Stuffed cabbage deconstructed. Exactly. That's what we're doing. Let me fill this one up. Okay. Put the lid on this one. Hi, Carrie Rose. Hi, Benny. Hi, Sally. Okay. Hi, Cheryl. We're going to put this one in. Now, remember, I said this pot's smaller. I don't even like this pot. I think I need to get rid of it. It's just not big enough for me. I don't know. It's not one of my favorites, but I'll use it today. Okay. So I'm just going to let that sit like that and let this start cooking, y'all. So that's pretty full. All right. So I'm going to put this one on a 4. I got that one on a 4. And I'm going to put some extra juice in this one. And we are good to go. And I'm going to let this sit here. Then I'm going to wipe this up, and then we're going to start that cheater fudge that my grandson loves. Hi, Salty Dog. Hi, Alyssa. Okay. I'm going to have this kitchen a mess before the day's over, y'all. Okay. So, let me bring down my trusted thingamajig here so I can cook on it. And I just have a bread pan and I put some, hey Kay, what you doing, hun? Just got on. I was making Halupki soup. So it's with cabbage. I just used spaghetti sauce today. I used ragu. And then I made like little tiny meatballs and a sweet onion and put it into a pan. But now I'm getting ready to make some cheater style fudge. So my grandson loves fudge and he asked me if I would make it and I told him yeah. So I'm going to turn this hot plate on. Probably I'm going to get it. It's got to get going here. Anyway, so all you need for this, guys, you can do this in the microwave. I'm just going to do it on here today. You need a can of sweetened condensed milk. That's it. 3 cups of chocolate chips. That's it. That's it. And, oh, let me get the vanilla. I'll set it on this side because this one's still not cooking on. We're going to need a teaspoon of vanilla. Teaspoon of vanilla. Now, I told you guys in December, we're going to make homemade vanilla. I'll do it. So we'll make it in December. Hopefully this lasts me because this is all I have. If not, I'll have to buy some. I have this and I have my vanilla bean paste. Actually, we could put the vanilla bean paste. That might taste better. Let's do that today. That might taste yummier. Anyhow, and I have 3 jars of these because when you make vanilla bean paste, you can just go with it, guys. You don't have to. Wait the 12 months when you make, well, 10 to 12 if you make the homemade stuff. So, oh, let me get my can opener. Trusty old can opener. So, for this cheater fudge, you need 1 can of sweetened condensed milk, and it's 14 ounces. 3 cups of chocolate chips, or 12 ounce, a 12 ounce bag will work. Just say 12 ounce bag. That's what's in here. They say 3 cups. It's a 12 ounce bag. I don't know. That's what they say. And then either a teaspoon of liquid vanilla or you can use a teaspoon of vanilla bean paste. That's it. Now, you can do this in the microwave or you can do it in your pan. I'm choosing to do it in my pan today. And I'm just going to use my handy can opener instead of getting out the electric one. Alright, here we go. So, I'm going to put this here. Now, that stuff's so good. Make sure you get all the goodness out of this can, guys. Make sure you get it all, okay? Yeah, make sure you get it all. Now, you can either do, I've done foil and I sprayed it a little bit. You can do foil, you can do parchment paper, you can do saran wrap. I've done them all. Do whatever you want. There's no rhyme or reason. But if my grandbabies ask for something, I try to do it. Hi, Matrix. So anyway, in goes the, yeah, that's ready. In goes the sweetened condensed milk. This is homemade vanilla bean paste, and I'm going to put a teaspoon in there, y'all. 1 teaspoon. And then I'm going to give it a little extra for goodness. Just a little extra for goodness. And then stir that up in your sweetened condensed milk. Get it all stirred in, y'all. Okay, so you can see it in there. See that? See the flakes? You see that? Okay, so we're going on. Now, I have this on medium heat, guys, okay? I have it on medium heat. In goes the chocolate chips. Okay. And then we're just going to melt these. That's all you're going to do. You're just going to melt them. That's it. It's so easy, guys. So easy. Now, when you guys are doing this, if you want to throw in marshmallows, walnuts, if you want to throw in peanut butter chocolate chips, you can throw those in. Whatever flavor chocolate chip you want to put in, you can put in. Okay, guys? It does not have to be chocolate chips. You can put whatever you want in it. Is what I'm trying to say. Or if you want to do a little of chocolate and a little of peanut butter or whatever, you can do that. It's just a quick, easy little fudge recipe. When I don't want to get everything else out, this is just something simple I can do. So, and with me doing everything else today, the soup, and, oh, I have to show you guys my cookies. That's why I wasn't on yesterday. I worked on cookies all day, y'all. And it was a long day of, let me get them. I had a long day of baking cookies and, well, not baking, but decorating. Long day of decorating cookies yesterday. Let me see if I can get to them. There's the eggs. So there's the eggs I did yesterday. You want to know how many of those I did? I did 105 eggs yesterday. 105. I'll tell you what, by the time I was done, my hands were done. My hands were done. So my neighbor, I called her yesterday and I said to her, hey, I'm working on sugar cookies, and she's got 3 little ones. And I said, I just finished them. So I took her some over. And then I needed some for the weekend, so I don't know how many I got in my tub, but I did do 100 cookies yesterday. So, and that takes time, you know, when you're decorating, it takes time to decorate all those cookies. This looks uncomfortably high. What, the pot? Oh no, it's not high. My son, I was complaining about how I was over here cooking, and it's hard to film there going across my stove. So I was looking at a flat surface one, and he come walking in the door the other day, and he said, here you go, Mama. This will make your life easier. Okay, guys, there it is. That's it. That is it. Oh, I don't need a spoon. I'm good enough. And then you just pour it into your thing, which I am doing. This is a bread pan, and my grandson likes thick fudge. He does not like thin fudge. So you can pour this into an 8x8. He prefers thick, so it is going into a bread pan. And like I said, them grandkids, whatever they want, they get. They get. So just push it down in, y'all. Push it down in. Now, he cuts a lot smaller. He cuts a lot smaller pieces than you would cut. Okay. So that's it. It's delicious. It's already setting up. So, it'll be set up in no time. And that's it. That's what I got for you today. So as you can see, it's already starting to set up. Hi, Lexi. So this is what it looks like. Like I said, you all can add whatever you want to it. My grandson is a plain Jane. He does not like peanut butter. He doesn't like marshmallows. He is very plain Jane. Now, when I make my cookies, he tells me he doesn't like marshmallow or peanut butter. When I make his cookies, guess who's eating them? Yeah, the boy who does not like peanut butter. And I tell him all the time, Liam, these have peanut butter in them. And he'll say, nay, you're joshing me. No, they don't. And I say to him, I am not joshing you. See guys, see how it's getting hard already. Just in the pan, it's already setting up. What's left in the pan is already setting up. So, anyway, he always tells me, you're joshing me. And I'm like, no. So I got my recipe book out for him. And he was like, well, I like those, but I don't like peanut butter. So, but that's what I'm doing today, guys. I just wanted to jump on and make this cheater fudge. You can see. I don't know if you can see right there, but see how it's starting to get hard right there? It's already setting up. So, 3 ingredients. A bag of chocolate chips, a can of sweetened condensed milk, and your choice, either vanilla bean paste or vanilla, regular vanilla. And then the soup, it's going to cook all day long, and that'll be the end of that. So it's Halupki soup, and the only thing I put in it was the cabbage, onion, and then I got 2 pounds of ground beef, and I made little bitty meatballs. And in the meatballs, I have Italian breadcrumbs, I have egg, and a little bit of rice in my meat, and I think I said 2 eggs, smoky salt, black cracked pepper, and garlic powder. Mixed it all up, made tiny meatballs, put some rice on top, and then I did, instead of tomato sauce, I used these today. These are the 45-ounce jars of ragu. I used those today. I have another one. If I need to add more ragu, I will. And then that's going to cook for probably 3 hours. Like I said, I could have done it in my Instapot and been done in 30 minutes, but it's chilly here today. Hi, Richardson. Hi, Richard. Hi, Cherise. Yeah, it's chilly here today, so I figured why not just make soup and let it cook all day while I do housework. And tomorrow I'll probably jump on for something quick. I probably won't be on this weekend because my grandson's coming home from college, and we have not seen him since Christmas, so I'll be spending some time with him. So I probably won't be on this weekend. If I do jump on, it probably will just be to say hi. It probably won't be to make a recipe, because you got to catch those memories when you can catch them, right? And so him and his girlfriend are coming home, and I want to be able to spend some time with him. And then this is his spring break. And then he'll be here, well, he's going to be here a couple days, and then he's going up to where her parents live in North Carolina. And then he'll go home, and then Easter weekend, he'll get to come back down, but he's only off Good Friday, Saturday, and then he has to travel 5 hours back to where he goes to college. So we're going to do Easter on Saturday this year. So that's going to be different. But you do what you got to do for kids, right? If they're in college and they're that far away, you got to be able to do what you can do. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for everybody that jumped on. Like, follow, share. I can't wait to see you guys tomorrow. And oh, Cheryl, I missed you putting the fudge in the pan. Oh, so you just in your pan, you can do this in the microwave, honey. It is like a cheater, it's just a cheater fudge recipe, and my grandson asked for it, and I have so much other stuff I'm trying to get done. I haven't even had Easter bought yet. But anyhow, so it's just a bag of chocolate chips. Yes, I put it in a glass pan. You can put it in whatever pan. Like I said, you can, I use foil. You can use foil, plastic, or parchment and pour it in there. And then I'm going to stick this in the refrigerator until it gets like really hard before I cut it. But you just use a bag of chocolate chips, a can of sweetened condensed milk, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and it can be either liquid vanilla or vanilla paste. I use my homemade vanilla paste. And then you can either do it on the stove top like I did, or you can do it in the microwave. If you do it in the microwave, I suggest you do it in a glass bowl and do like 30-second intervals, because you do not want your chocolate chips to get burnt. And also, Cheryl, if you want to do a different flavor, you don't have to use the chocolate chips. I've done it with mint chocolate. I've done it with the peanut butter chips. I've done it with the white chips and added dried cherries to it. So you can use whatever bag of chocolate chips that you want to use. You know, it does not have to be chocolate. And then if you want to throw add-ins in, like nuts, like I did with the white, I did dried cherries, and I have done dried cranberries. So you can throw in whatever add-ins you want. So you can do that too. And you can, so I do have foil on this. So whenever I go to take this out, I'll just slip this out and then I'll let him cut it. Normally I would do it in an 8x8 pan, but my grandson likes the thicker fudge. So I do it in a bread pan for him. And then he just takes little chunks. And then I do put it in the refrigerator for like, I mean, overnight's okay. You don't need to. Within 2 hours, you're good to cut it. It's good to go within 2 hours. So, like I said, it's a cheater fudge. It's a simple fudge. If you know somebody that likes fudge and you just want to make something for somebody nice and throw a couple other little things in there, just throw whatever you feel like throwing in there, you know, marshmallows, whatever. So I would have done something else, but he is my plain Jane boy. He only likes plain stuff. So chocolate plain, that's it. So like I said, I will see you guys tomorrow. I don't know what I'll be doing tomorrow, but I'll be doing something. And then I will take a picture of my soup later, and I'll post my throw together recipe for the deconstructed cabbage rolls. So I will talk to you guys later. Y'all have a good day. I'm going to have a good day. And the sun's out, and please, Lord, warm it up. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye. Bye, Kay. See you, hun.